Net zero. Have you got a gas boiler at home? If you do, apparently there's a new report out that says that these things might be banned within the next 10 years. So from 2033, you'll have to find a different way to heat your home. Why? It's all part of this whole net zero thing. You research these kind of policies. Laurie, do you agree with this?
So I got a gas boiler.
Have you?
My mum and dad got a gas boiler. Yeah, because...
Do you live with your mum and dad?
No, they separately. We don't share the same gas boiler, just to be clear.
Separate two gas boilers.
As most homes in the UK do have a gas boiler, right? And one of the key parts of the experience of having a gas boiler in recent months over this winter before is that it's very expensive to have on and to be heating our homes. And that's because we are dependent on the price of gas, which can be manipulated by murderous authoritarians who decide to invade bits of Europe. So by getting rid of gas boilers, we hopefully can become less dependent on those wild gas price markets, right? The problem here, so broadly, setting a date to get rid of them, I think is a good idea. What is inferred in that is that the cost of doing so is going to be pushed onto us. That's where I disagree. Potentially,
though, because there are some grants available or soon to be broadened out. So some of these costs could be picked up by the government. I say government, by the way, I mean all of you lot, us lot, all the taxpayers. Where do you stand on it, Alex?
Well, if you think about, let's take a completely different topic area that government's faced this week. Government faced with a relatively significant dissenting set of voices on social media policing, volunteered quite swiftly to take a different course or to have an open mind about policy. And I think if they will do that over social media, then given the number of constituents who would rather hang on to their gas boilers, I think they'd face rather a louder outcry were this policy to be adopted. So I think it's quite unlikely, actually, our government will pursue this report's perspective. My own personal opinion is an entirely pragmatic one. If the harm to society or the impact on consumers would be small and the benefit to the environment would be enormous, then, nudging people to do it, asking people to pay a small amount for plastic bags and so forth, whatever, fine. Here, it seems to me the harm to society pretty high, given the speed with which you'd have to get it introduced, and the difference to the environment, absolutely minuscule. So, actually, on balance, I think it's very unlikely this would happen.